introduce yourself again, as we always do in the general chat. I got something I got to take care of before I turn my camera on and start the call. So hang with me, folks. But go ahead and introduce yourself. Brian, you take over. I'll be back in about a couple minutes.
Hey guys, welcome to the call, guys. As usual, go into the Telegram group. Let me get in the Telegram group first, and just kind of introduce yourself. Say where you're coming in from, guys. Okay, Tennessee, DC. Good to see you. Good to see you, Professor. How are you, sir? Palm Beach, San Diego, Dallas, Texas. Welcome, 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 guys. We're gonna get started here in just about, I guess 2 or 3 minutes. I know Mark just wants to resolve something. He's got some things to share with you guys. Nebraska, Sebring, Florida, Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the call, guys. Again, give us just a minute here before we get started, and then we're going to rock and roll, guys. So just give us about a second here. Keep going to the Telegram group. Get yourselves prepared, and we'll be right with you here in just about a minute. Happy Monday to you too, Lori Patton. Welcome, Michigan, to the call. Richmond, Virginia. Welcome to the call, guys. Just never call without Florida. Florida's in the house. Lancaster, PA, Tennessee, Texas, guys. I love how far and wide this goes. It's actually pretty cool. Brazil, very far and wide.
Hey, folks, I'm back. So we can go ahead and get the call started. Let me pop on here. Okay, there we go. All right, let me go ahead and start the record. Welcome, everybody. Looking at the general chat. Yep, a lot of the same people. Always great to have you guys here. All right, here we go.
Recording in progress.
Okay, let's go ahead and get this call started. So right now, today, as it stands, I was looking at actually in our kind of have a little private chat with the devs, me, Dave, Brian, and we're all in there. And we've gotten some feedback from the audit company. I don't have a timeline yet because we're going to talk tonight with Kapil and his team. So literally like right after this call, we're going to be getting on with the dev team and we're going to talk about some of the issues that came back. Now, keep in mind, this is not a straightforward, and I am recording, Robert, don't worry. This is not a straightforward like token contract like you would normally see in a typical audit. This is an affiliate plan with all of its intricacies. And then, of course, you have our voting mechanism, which has never been done before. So there's a lot of moving parts. And so what I saw in the feedback so far is that there's a few moving parts that just kind of need to be corrected. It doesn't seem like the timeline's far. It seems like we're close. And so, but I don't have like an exact time frame yet because we need to talk with the devs. So me and Brian are going to be getting together with them and talking tonight. And we'll let you know how that conversation went tomorrow when we come back on the call. And we'll have a lot of more information with you guys. And that's basically it. That's where we're at as far as that goes. And then I thought what I would do tonight, because I was just kind of looking at the market. I know a lot of you folks are probably checking out the market. It is continuing to trend downward. And I would tell you that we're still in an uptrend, actually, just so you guys know. I'm going to share some things with you. I drew out some trend lines, if you guys can see that. Can you see that okay, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. So interesting. I kind of just noticed some things in the market and looking at history and things in the past, draw up these trend lines. There basically is what I call like these mini downtrends, and this would probably go from actually about right here. So what you'll notice, it's kind of neat about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just so bullish overall. If you look at this is the beginning of this chart is actually 2017, and so really this overall from a macro perspective from beginning to end is really an uptrend. I mean, it really is like this bullish thing. So we all know. I mean, we realize that every chart has its ups and downs. I mean, there's no chart out there that doesn't have its ups and downs. And what you're looking at right now, these are weekly candles. So every single one of these candles represents an entire week. Okay. And the reason why I drew this particular line here is because from the bottom up, we're really still in an upward trend on the weekly, which is kind of a good thing to know. When the trend breaks, as you can tell from the past, you can see when a trend breaks, actually, if you look at it from here. So you might have thought, okay, if you're in this particular uptrend, you found the bottom here and back up, it made a new high. You draw these trend lines based on new highs, the length of them. So you're looking at, okay, we just made a new high here, so we're going to draw a trend line that goes all the way up from the bottom, but interim low, like from here all the way to here. These are these interim lows, right? And then you have this new high that was made, and so now you've got an upward trend. The trend when it breaks is when the candle forms and closes. So a weekly candle will form and close below this line. That's when you're like, okay, we could have potentially broken the trend. But since you had this consolidation here,
Mike,
you wouldn't officially think so until you got about right here. And then you see now that you're in a downtrend, because the reason why traders, when they're trading, they recognize
Mike,
these
give me a
trends
call as
because
soon as
they're
you hear this,
thinking
all right?
about whether
I
they
need
should
to
be
talk to
looking
you,
for
man.
buys or
All right,
if
I'll
they
see you
should be
later,
looking
buddy.
for sell trades, right? And they know based on this particular trend breaking move here that they're going to start looking for sell trades. So they're looking for these pullbacks that they hope will come all the way back up to here, but sometimes they don't, because this was a pretty good, bearish move here, right here. And I'm just showing you guys this so you can kind of recognize and maybe give you some things to look for. I talked about imbalance last Thursday, and I can tell you the next imbalance, right, at this point, as you can see on this weekly trend, is around the top of this wick, about 87,000. Okay. So there's a good potential that Bitcoin could go ahead and go all the way down to 87,000 and actually still be considered in an uptrend, believe it or not. As a matter of fact, this trend line goes all the way down to 85,000. You see this thing break below 85,000, and then you could believe that the trend lines have been broken, and now you've got traders looking for sell trades. I don't know what it would take in the market for that to happen. I still think the fundamentals are really solid. We've got an administration in the United States that's really pro crypto. I still think things are going to turn around, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. No one knows what's going to happen. But this has been a pretty long uptrend if you look at it, all the way from, you could really start here. We were on $18,000 Bitcoin, like in, what is that, January of 23, right? And so we've been going up pretty much since January of 23, if you look at it from a macro perspective. But the reason I'm showing you this is not to give you some sort of a clue as to what the market's going to do. That's not the purpose of this. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to notice right here, these are weekly candles. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of these 6 candles are actually red. And you can obviously tell this was just a little rally, and then down we go. So we've been in pretty much a mini downtrend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks from the top. 6 weeks. To me, it looks like a correction. It looks like it's going to bounce off of this imbalance, and it's going to continue to move up. What we want more than anything is stabilization when it comes to our investments, when we're thinking about our altcoins and all the things that we're in, whether it's Solana, whether it's Ethereum, or maybe you're in some really good projects that you just you're wanting them to stay bullish, right? And your goal short term is that you hope they stay bullish, and you believe in them long term because you believe in the crypto industry. You believe, that this is, if you believe in the whole industry, this is just a temporary down move, and it doesn't really mean anything long term. But short term, a lot of you guys might have some goals. Maybe you don't. But this is just the way traders think. But why am I showing you this right now? Because I also noticed in the coin market cap, I looked at Pepe and I thought, for the last 6 weeks, we've been moving down, 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 down. And what's amazing, if you look at Pepe, and I only show Pepe because it's just a meme coin. It's not that I honestly don't view Sosana as a meme coin. I think it's obvious we're so much more than that. We're so much more than just about any project out there, let alone meme coins. But when you look at this chart for the last year, okay, this is just the last year, everything here. It's not necessarily candles. Obviously, you can't see it from a candle perspective. I'm trying to see if I can switch it to candle. It doesn't matter. But the bottom line is this is down. Despite what Bitcoin has been doing, Pepe's just been continuing to go down, right, the entire time. Just this downward move. And yet, look at the volume. Over the last 24 hours, they've had almost $400 million in volume. Isn't that amazing? Does that not just shock some of you when you think about it? And who in the Telegram right now can tell me why I'm mentioning the daily volume? Why am I mentioning that right now? What does that mean to us from a Sosana perspective, which is so different than anything we've ever done before? We love it. Exactly, Professor. I love it. You really answered that question perfectly. Because you really start to think about, I've told you guys many, many times, that even in a down market, we can still have incredible success. And it's amazing that you look at a token like Pepe, right? It's just a meme coin. It doesn't have any purpose. There's no utility. There's no purpose to it. Nobody cares. How many people in the Pepe community are participating in their utility? None, because they don't even have one. Think about it. How active is their community? What are they doing with that project? They're just hoping it goes up. There's people that are trying to buy the dip right now. They've been buying the dip for a long time, right? So I want you to think about that. Yet it still has almost $400 million in the last 24 hours in volume. Does that not just blow your mind when you think about it? Think about that. That is unbelievable. Buys, sells, doesn't matter. It's volume, right? And you can see, if you look at it, I'm going to go just over the last month, okay? Still downward move over the last month, as we know, because Bitcoin's down. When Bitcoin's down, everything's down, right? And to me, it's just incredible. You look at this. This is their all-time chart. I think they started back in 2023. And you can see it hit its peak. And it's been, it's really been a long ways away from its high. Because what is Pepe waiting to do? Think about it. Pepe is waiting for Bitcoin to not only go bullish like it has, but to stay in a very stable position where it remains in an upward trend, or at least a sideways market. Matter of fact, I can tell you that altcoins, from what I've experienced, is they do incredibly well whenever Bitcoin is sideways. So when Bitcoin has hit its peak and it's made a new high, and then it just sticks around for a while where it just kind of stabilizes and goes sideways. That's when you see the altcoin markets explode. And we know that, I know in my mind, I don't know this, I can't predict it, but I think Pepe will hit an all-time high again. I think most people know that. Most people, if you believe in crypto, then you know Bitcoin's going to come back. It's going to make an all-time high all over again. I think Bitcoin's going to go to over $1 million at some point. I really do. That's just my opinion. It's not advice. It doesn't mean anything as far as as far as what you might want to do with how you make decisions. I'm just telling you, the bottom line is Bitcoin, in my opinion, this is just another interim down. And I honestly believe, without giving advice, that we're probably at the worst as far as Bitcoin is concerned. It's probably going to fill this imbalance, and it's probably going to go to around 87,000. It's going to bounce off of this trend line, and then it's going to trend back upwards. And then I think it's going to make a new high, probably in the first quarter of next year. Probably. I don't know. Might happen even sooner. If we get some huge fundamental business announcement, right, from maybe something in the economy is occurring, or maybe the president, makes some kind of crazy announcement. Who knows, right? Who knows? But I believe that we are still, you can tell the charts don't lie, right? We are still an overall upward market. But to me, what's amazing, and my point to this whole thing is for Sosana to be a successful project, it doesn't matter what the market's doing. because we live by, we don't live and die by Bitcoin. We really kind of, I think, has, unlike any other crypto project in history, I believe that Sosana is going to be based more on its utility rather than what the market's doing. Because we don't care if the market's going up or down, we are still growing that degen voter bonus wallet, right? Think about it. I mean, if a bunch of people sell Sosana, then a whole bunch of money goes into the taxes, right? And then people are going to want to come in and vote. To me, the participation in our utility is what makes the difference, because it's like I've told you guys many times. People aren't going to go, oh, Bitcoin went down 25%. I'm not interested in voting and winning and getting rewarded and finding quality projects. They're not going to want to stop doing that. Even for just the reward alone, we are going to be making markets for tokens that we choose as a community. Do you ever put that in perspective? Do you ever really think about that when it comes to Sosana and what we're going to be able to do to help the industry? Because remember, what is our goal? Who can tell me what our goal is? The number one goal in Sosana. Who can tell me? What's the number one goal? And don't say make money. Find quality projects, right? That's our goal. And what is everybody's goal in crypto? To find quality projects. So are we not going to be the best answer possible in crypto to help people solve the number one problem? What is the number one problem? Come on, guys. If you don't know this, where have you been? What is the number one problem in crypto? Shiny object syndrome and nothing accomplished, right? Sosana, that's the number one problem in crypto. We are here to solve the number one problem in crypto and give people to build up this community, to create this safe haven where people are going to want to continue coming here, even in the midst of a down market. I just can't wait to see what we do in a down market. I'm excited about it. I don't think the affiliates are going to stop telling people about us. I don't think our community who's been through, if you're part of our community and you've been through an election process and you've seen that process play out, and then we hit that tipping point that I've been talking about, right? Who can tell me what the tipping point is? What's the tipping point in Sosana? Who can tell me? I talk about this all the time. What is the tipping point? What's that tipping point? Somebody tell me. That tipping point is when the degen voter wallet gets big enough to where it has a tremendous impact on the project that the community votes for. That's the tipping point. Now, once we hit that tipping point, why would it stop? Tell me, can you guys think of a single reason why once we hit that tipping point that we won't spring into momentum and continue to hit that tipping point every 2 weeks? Like, what would stop it? That's just a question. I'm not giving you any guarantee of anything or what's going to happen. I'm just asking that question. I believe that once we get to a certain point, I don't know when it is. I'm not going to throw out numbers to say, well, it's when the degen voter wallet is this big, and then we vote for a particular project that's this particular market cap. But at some point, there's going to be a tipping point where it just has a tremendous impact on that particular project, that token project. And when that happens and our community experiences it and they see it happen live, they're going to be seeing and experiencing something they've never experienced in their life, ever. They've never seen it happen. And when they see it, they're never going to forget it. Why? Who's not going to want to come back and see that again and again and again and again every 2 weeks? Who's not going to want to see it? I think everybody's going to want to see it. And so that's the future. And so I just want you guys to think about that no matter what the markets do, we're different. And we're different in a way that no one else can really say they are. Nobody else is different like Sosana. We are not just a token. It's like I've told you guys before. That's not what we are. We are not just a token project where you buy the Sosana token, you hope it goes up, and then you sell it. That's not what it's about. there's an aspect of that people want to profit from, of course. But in my opinion, our project remains bullish. It remains, our community continues to grow despite the market. Why would people care what the market's doing if they can come back every 2 weeks and get rewarded for helping the industry get rid of the shiny object syndrome? Think about it. Why would anyone want to stop doing that just because Bitcoin goes down 35%? I wouldn't. Would you? Would you guys stop wanting to make rewards every 2 weeks just because Bitcoin went down? I wouldn't. I can't imagine why you would. Nah, I don't want to make rewards. I don't like what Bitcoin's doing. I'm not going to go vote for a new project that could be awesome, that I could potentially earn incredible rewards from, that I could potentially buy in front of the DGen wallet if I think it's reached that tipping point. Again, that's going to be your decision. That's going to be up to you. We can't tell you what to do. We can't give you financial advice. But I bet you guys are going to want to hang around every 2 weeks to find out what's going to happen, aren't you? Think about that. And I think that's what makes us so different. That's why we're here. That's why we can't wait for this to launch. I've told you guys so many times, me and Brian have both told you, we want this thing to launch yesterday. We want the audit to come back and say, okay, no more fixes. We're done, ready to go. Boom, let's push the button and let's rock and roll. That's what we're doing. And I'm telling you guys, we're just getting closer and closer to that. You guys are probably tired of me saying it. I'm tired of saying it. But I'm just telling you, it's inevitable. I see it as inevitable. I just can't tell you exactly when, but it's an inevitability. I do think it's soon, but soon's a relative term. We all want it to happen tomorrow. Me and Brian, again, we're going to be on the call tonight with Kapil and Dave and our dev team. We're going to talk about the audit that that we just got feedback from our auditor. And we're going to know a lot more, I think, after tonight. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk to you guys about it tomorrow. But anything else you want to add to that, Brian?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to 10 o'clock Eastern, just so we can get on with the developers and really get the, out of their lips. Oh, no problem. We can do this in a day, whatever, a couple of hours, whatever. Because I know the community's itching for it, and we're itching for it. And it's like, yeah, man, that's it. It's like, I'm like, can we just fast forward time so we can get there and we can find out what's going on? We can let everybody else know, and we can just get it moving. Because I know everybody's anxious. We're anxious. We got a lot of people waiting at the gates. I get it. And it's just a point where we want to get it going. That's all.
You got it. All right. Anybody have any questions about anything? Any questions? Questions, comments? I just unmuted you, Professor, just to put you on the spot. You're out there too if you want to come on.
Oh,
Keith, you're welcome to.
Just put me on the spot.
Yeah, I love it. I love
buddy.
putting you on the spot because you never fail.
Well, I was just about to type in. I just want to, I want to thank you and Brian. I know it's not easy having, 4 Zooms each week when you don't have the full, hey, we're getting started on this day.
Right. Not fun.
Yeah, and so I just want to just publicly thank both of you for being here, being transparent, which I know it gives me, and I hope it gives a lot of us that continue to come a lot of confidence that while we wait, this is the real deal. If you wanted to scam something, you put something up real quick. You want to do it right, you want to do it right. And we're talking about legacy building here. Remember, we got a token that's 20 cents or so. What happens if it gets to $20? That's 100 times from right now.
Right.
And not even talking about going to $100. 20 cents to $20 is 100 times. How often have we had an opportunity to potentially 100 times? Not to mention all the other projects that we're going to be able to add to our portfolio and what those things could wind up doing. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brian, for being here. Even when it's like, okay, I don't really have anything else to say. But you know what? But you know what we just found out tonight? As you pose some of those questions, like what's the number one function of Sosana, all right, and I didn't see a lot of answers.
Mhm.
So what that's telling me is people are hearing things, but it may not have yet registered. We're excited,
Yeah.
but hasn't registered yet. So I remember one of my mentors, Brian, used to say, you don't want to just join the company or be in the company. You want the company, or in this case, Sosana, to be in you.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we're starting to impact folks. When it's in us. So I'm excited. Whenever it happens, it happens. Had a Zoom with my folks earlier this evening to make sure that they are prepared. So for those of you that have teams, well, even if it's onesies and twosies, make sure they are ready to go, ready to purchase the membership. They have at least the $50 or more padded a little bit so that they can vote. And maybe some of you will be like yours truly. I've got a project. I'm going to nominate. I will be a nominator.
Mhm. And I keep hearing about new projects, even in the Solana ecosystem. And every time I hear that, I'm like, wow, that's going to be an interesting one to go ahead and nominate. That's good. So there's going to be some great nominations coming out. It's going to be fun. Some of you guys are going to discover some really interesting, neat projects that are out there. I'm really excited about that. And what's beautiful is it's never going to stop. I mean, this is a huge industry that just keeps on giving as far as new projects. Like there's always going to be new ideas. It's never going to stop. And I think as we get bigger and bigger and bigger as a community, as you know, everything grows with it. The DGen wallet grows with it. We start to go viral. People are hearing about us. I think all these communities are going to come in and they're just going to want to introduce their projects. We're going to be a place where everybody says, man, if you got a new project, you got to introduce it to Sosana. Like you just got to. Why wouldn't you? You've got to give yourself a chance to get in the top 10 and hopefully win the election, right? If you get in the top 10, it means even if you didn't win that particular election, you're going to try to win it the next election. And you're going to stay there until maybe you can work your way up through that top 10 and be number one. Earn that badge, which could be on your website forever. It's a badge of honor that you've won the Sosana community election. That's a huge honor to any project because it's just a community of people that are just saying we love your project. That's what's awesome about it. And think about how just as a utility, what that does to the industry as a whole. Again, it throws out the shiny objects. It tries to get rid of them because it makes everyone flock to a place where the goal is to get rid of the shiny objects, to not vote for them, to actually cast them out, right? In that nomination and voting process. But then it uplifts the quality projects. It gets them seen. You know, there are so many super quality, awesome projects right now that have so much potential, but nobody knows about them. Nobody sees them. They don't know what they are. You want to be seen. You're going to want to go to a community that's voting, right? You're going to be seen. And I can't think of a better way to be seen than to nominate your project inside the Sosana community. You only have to hold $500 worth of Sosana to do it. You don't even have to pay for the ad. It's like, to me, it's almost, I don't want to say free advertising because you do have to own Sosana to do it, right? But we're telling you to buy and hold Sosana, which we believe is an incredibly growing asset. So we think that's a win. Just in order to show your project to eventually tens of thousands of people in the community. Again, what community on the Solana ecosystem is not going to want to do that and to bring their communities with them to get that exposure? Everybody's going to champion Sosana because all we're doing, we're not competing with anyone. We're just uplifting and promoting the quality projects. And if you don't think your project is worth nominating, then you're a shiny object. You shouldn't be in the industry. If you're not willing to nominate your project for the Sosana election, you shouldn't even be in crypto. Think about it. It's a really neat kind of pre-qualifier, isn't it? You think about it that way. So I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Let's see here. I don't see any question marks on these. That's just a bunch of comments. AK talked about a Sosana meetup. I don't know anything about that. That'd be David's territory. All right. Well, Brian and I, it's about 30 minutes past the hour. I think it's a good time to close. But Brian and I will be on with the developers. I don't know what we're going to bring you tomorrow. I have no idea. I'm just telling you guys what we're doing. But it's like you said, Professor, it's not fun and it's not easy to come out. And when you don't have the information you wish you had to give to the community, but I really appreciate you guys showing up and giving us your support. And I hope that you guys can appreciate us. We just want to continue to stay in front of you, because then you can see us and think, okay, these guys are committed. We're still here. We still believe in it. We're here for you guys. And I think that's important for everybody. So I hope you guys appreciate that. All right. So we will see you guys tomorrow night. We will be here. I told you guys we will always be here when we can. And we will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Same time, same place. You guys have a great night.
Good night.
All right, good night. Thank you.
Hello?